On this week's episode, we're going to make some upgrades to this 4x6 bandsaw. Now these things aren't terribly out of the box, but I reckon with a few easy upgrades, we can make it a lot more user friendly and get a lot better performance out of it. So here's what we're going to do. An extension on this vice handle, get rid of this spring tensioner and add a hydraulic down feed, a quick release handle on this vice so that a tool's not needed every time you want to change the angle, a cooling system for the blade, and a new stand on 4 cast wheels with a little bit more height. The vice handle is in a really awkward position under the head of the saw, so I reckon a little extension will make this much easier to use. I think a T-nut and a quick release handle on this vice will be one of the best things I do, because who wants to use a tool on a tool? Now, this is where a milling machine would come in handy, but I don't have one, so out comes the hacksaw. Here's the T-nut all finished. I'm actually really happy with how that turned out, considering I used a hacksaw and a file. And this is the quick release handle I got. I got a pack of 5 of these off eBay for like $30. It was actually cheaper to buy 5 than it was to buy 1. but I've got an upcoming project I'll be able to use the other 4 on, so it worked out pretty well. And that's all the main frame tacked together. I think now I'm going to start working on the hydraulic ram for the down feed. I'm thinking of mounting it somewhere around here so I can use a factory hole that the spring was mounted in. But the hole the spring was mounted in being a 10mm and the heim joint on the ram being an 8mm, we're going to have to make up some type of adapter for that. Most people usually mount the flow valve to the ram itself, but I'm thinking plasma cut these 2 little brackets, and I'm thinking of mounting it up under there like that. So I reckon that'll be in a little bit more convenient spot. If you can imagine, your on-off button will be just there. I think the flow valve will work a lot better over this side where you're going to be working. When the ram will be over on this side. Really happy with how this tray's turned out, being the first thing I've folded on the new box and pan brake. I'm going to move on to the blade coolant now. I've got this little water feature pump here just from Bunnings, it's about $30, which will be submerged in this drum here underneath the saw, run up through these pipes to this little nozzle. So back on the placement table for another little bracket. Now onto the drain system. I've come up with this bowl design here which will bolt underneath the pan, and you can see the water level has to rise to nearly the top of that before it'll flow back out the bottom, hopefully letting all the solids settle in the bottom because I don't want them in the tank blocking up the pump. We've got the nut here which you can see will have a seal there in the top. That'll seal up against the bottom of the pan, and I've got a spot here underneath for another O-ring which that'll seal up against the bowl underneath. And now we've got the bolt which will go through the bottom of the pan, which is an M14 with a 10mm hole. This won't sit flush with the bottom of the pan, it'll sit about 5mm proud, hopefully letting a lot of the solids settle in the bottom of the pan before even getting into the bowl. This is the tutting concentrate I decided to go with. It's 1 to 20, so one bag of this will make 20 litres of cutting fluid. And after a little bit of thread sealant on all the threads, it was time to get the hydraulic ram hooked up. The ram I'm using for this is actually an air cylinder, but we're going to fill it with oil and use it more like hydraulic ram as it's a way more cost-effective option. So you can see here, got the hoses running over to the needle valve. I didn't get any footage of bleeding it up because it wasn't fun at all. This here is the oil I used, mainly because I just had some laying around, just hydraulic jack oil. You can see now it does sit under its own weight. And then if we give this valve a bit of a turn, you can stop it. And I've quickly jumped back on CAD and designed this little plate here for when using the saw in the vertical position. I wanted it to be as big as I could, but so it can still stay there while using it in the horizontal position, so it doesn't have to be taken on and off all the time. I've picked myself up a new blade too. From the research I've done, this should be a pretty good compromise for low and high speeds. And just remembering, a new blade will need to be run in, so don't just go full send on it. And that pretty much brings us to the end for this week. I have been using this saw now for about 3 weeks, and it's night and day better than before we started. I didn't get any footage of it, but I did make up this adjustable backstop so it's easy to get back to 90 degrees.